Welcome to the world-renowned Invest in Her podcast with your host, Catherine Gray. Catherine is a keynote and TEDx speaker, author, executive producer of the movie Show Her the Money, also CEO and founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. Our weekly show of powerhouse women, founders, funders, and changemakers is sure to inspire you. Let's go.
Welcome to this week's episode of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation, as well as executive producer of Show Her the Money, the movie about how underfunded women are in venture capital. So I'm so excited today to have on co-founders of the Entree Venture Capital Fund, two amazing women. First, we have Hillary Talbot. She is formerly a sailor, a surfer, and an Alpine skier. You know, same as me, just kidding. And also, we have on Ph.D. Jenny Kuan. She is an associate producer at the California State University in Monterey, as well as executive director of the Innovation Center there. Ladies, what a mouthful. So glad to have you both on. Welcome, Hillary and Jenny.
Thank you so much, Catherine.
So we have a lot to talk about. One of the things I love about the two of you and your fund that I want to get to in the show is that you do put a focus on manufacturing, which not many venture capital firms do. And I also want to talk about, how do these women innovators get a lead investor to even start their journey of raising funding? So two great topics that I think we need to tackle today. But first, let's talk about why you all started this venture fund and what you all invest in, and tell us the how it got started.
Sure, I'll take this. So, Jenny, let's see, in 2018 through 2022, is that correct on the years, Jenny?
Probably 2020, so
okay.
During the pandemic.
Invested in a company out of New Orleans called Obitala Sciences, led by an amazing founder named Trivia Frazier, who's a Ph.D. MBA. So they needed a lead, and so it happened to coincide. Jenny taught a class in venture capital that she put together for women focused, that is based on her research on why venture capital in Silicon Valley, why it succeeded, was based on collaboration. And then why women are uniquely positioned to succeed in venture capital.
Oh, I love that topic already. Okay.
So, side note, we have done 10 cohorts so far, have 400 plus women now that have gone through, and now they co-invest, they lead funds, they are entrepreneurs, and they provide fractional talent. So our next Venture Capital 101 class for women will be in February, and it's free and people can sign up on our website.
Oh, fantastic. So we are definitely going to put that in the notes. We want people to, one of the premises, of course, of our movie, Show Her the Money, and our worldwide tour is to get more women looking at venture capital as an asset class to invest in. So I love what you're doing with these cohorts. This is amazing. So anybody can apply to be a part of this cohort. And what are the qualifications?
No qualifications if you're curious. And we've had a woman from the State Department come who is high up, the VP of product at Yelp, and many other amazing women. And then we also offer a couple other classes. One, a breaking into venture class that just gives women an hour over lunch that we teach once a month, how they can get into venture. Then we're launching an investing in venture capital class geared for women that gives you like the nuts and bolts of like how to evaluate investing in a fund. And then third, we're launching a lead investor training because we're finding that other VC firms don't have the nuts and bolts knowledge of how to lead around.
Right. And you know what, Jenny, you're the perfect person. You're a professor in this arena. Tell us, what is a lead investor? How does one become one? How does one get one? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, so the lead investor role is super interesting and it's really important. So it's where you agree to sort of lead an investment round for a startup. And you want all of the investors and co-investors to do their own due diligence and make a decision on their own, whether they want to invest. But a lead investor um, sort of sort of agrees to participate on the board, to really roll up their sleeves, help the startup succeed, and provide the kind of TLC and mentoring and advising and things like that that startups often need. So entrepreneurs, especially in technology and in sciences, they don't necessarily have the business background or the networks and things like that. They have really important domain expertise as scientists or engineers, but not necessarily the business side of things. And so that's where VCs come in and where they really are playing a super important role in the success of a startup. So VCs provide capital, but also that kind of collaboration and help that entrepreneurs really need.
I love
That's
this
what we
because
encourage.
that's a great explanation too, because there are a lot of entities out there. I can think of one off the top of my head, like Angels. They will not invest. That syndicate won't invest in a startup unless they have a lead investor. And now that you've explained it, it makes perfect sense that they would want to know that someone has invested a significant amount of time and money with the expertise to help get that startup over the finish line. So that makes perfect sense that they want them to have a lead investor before they invest in them. I believe the lead investor also is very critical in, vetting that entity. And so a syndicate like Angels and those that are similar to it, they don't necessarily have the bandwidth to vet all of these. So they're kind of coming in pre-vetted when they have a lead investor, right? So how does an entrepreneur go about, ladies, finding a lead investor? Because I think I hear a lot of them say that's a challenge.
It is a challenge, and honestly, it's a lot of conversations. I've never seen anyone list on their website. Actually, no, that's not true. A couple VCs I'm thinking of do say they lead, but it's very few and far between. And like, if we're one of the keys beyond getting more capital to female and minority founders is we need more lead investors, and we're happy to train them one-on-one to do this and give them the confidence to go lead rounds.
I love that. So with your cohorts, you're teaching investors, successful business people, how to be a lead investor.
Actually, that's for VC firms only. So they would come to us and they would say, "Hey, we're interested in leading this deal, but
Got it.
we'd love an overview, the nuts and bolts of how you do this." And then we have training materials that we've developed to help them go through, and we're happy to help them mentor along the way. And like, I think I certainly learned as we led Obitala's round that it's not as complicated as people think. So first and this is how we got started, is they needed a lead investor. So we first, Jenny took the lead on valuing them. And then we took it out to a roadshow and talked to other investors and confirmed that the valuation was correct. And then we chatted with other investors that they had what's known as soft circled, that they said were interested in investing once they found a lead. And we chatted with them. And then we went through a first close and then a second close with them and helped Obitala raise their Series A.
You know, I think there's no better way to learn than by doing. So I love that that's what you all did. You actually became the lead investor with your VC, which tell everybody again the name of the venture fund.
That's okay. It's the French word être, and it means to be.
And how do you spell that?
ETRE.
So Etra Capital that you all started, you first did this to learn how to become a lead investor so you could teach other VCs to do that. So your collaboration, your cohort teaches women how to start a fund, how that fund can be a lead investor, because this is such a weak link in the venture capital world, that founders are having so much trouble, especially, of course, women founders and people of color, finding lead investors, that you're trying to create the solution for that. And I love that with your backgrounds. I mean, Jenny, your PhD, you are the director of the Innovation Center at the University of California State University in Monterey. So this is something you're eating and living on a daily basis. And I imagine in that innovation center, and you, Hillary, with who you're encountering on a daily basis, you're meeting all these women in underserved communities that have the most important innovations to the future of the planet. And so you're solving the problem of how do we fund them, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And so one of the motivations for teaching the class, which is free and online, was to demystify venture capital. So a lot of what Hillary talked about, like what do you have to do to lead and all this kind of stuff, we definitely went through the process ourselves, and now coming out the other side can safely say that there are so many people, a lot of women who have business skills, business knowledge, experience, who would be great at this, because it's really about helping other people, help collaborating to solve problems and so on. And it's being part of a team. It's things that women are probably naturally good at, I'd like to say. And so demystifying what all of that is super important. And I'm hoping will activate women to say, I do that all the time, or I have a ton of experience doing this or that, advising people, helping solve business problems. We don't need, the VC to be a scientist. That's what the entrepreneur scientist is for, right? We're here to help them realize, their dreams. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, whether you're a scientist or just an innovator in tech or whatever, you've been given a download that I always say. It's your purpose on the planet. And you have this amazing vision. And other people who've been successful in other areas of their life or inherited money have an opportunity to invest in your great vision, your download, that's your purpose on the planet. You don't have to be able to do everything. Nobody can. That's why we're all in this together. And I love this collaborative effort that you all are creating with these free online courses for people to be able to learn all aspects of venture capital, whether it's investing in it so that you might not have the great idea, but you can invest in someone who does. And not only can it be very lucrative, but it can also be extremely impactful. You're helping shift the whole change of generational wealth to women and minorities. So what better legacy could we all have than that, than to equalize wealth amongst all people? And so what you're doing is very, very important. I just want to say that, and kudos to you both. How do people find this free program? Because I know a lot of people are going to want to either know how to invest in it, how to demystify venture capital. Maybe they're coming into money and want to know more about this alternative investment asset. Maybe they want to start their own fund. How do they find you as a resource?
so, So it's etreventurecapital.com. And then we have an education tab on our website. And then if
Well,
people
let's
want
spell it for them. It's ETRE.
VC.com.
Okay, ETREVC.com. You can check out their free online course. If you want to become an investor, if you want to start your own fund, you want to learn how to become a lead investor. And if you're an entrepreneur wanting to find a lead investor and looking for funding, right?
Correct. And
Amazing.
so flash forward to now, we're happy to report that Obitala Sciences is profitable as of the end of Q3 2025,
And this
which
was
is
your first
huge.
investment.
Yep.
Yes,
Right. So for those that missed the beginning of the show, this was their first investment. They wanted to learn by doing, which everybody should do. And now it's profitable. That's amazing. And so you're hoping at some point for an exit or an IPO, something like that.
correct.
Yeah. Great. And what does that company do? Tell us about it.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Yeah, well, it was founded by three stem cell scientists in New Orleans, out of Tulane University, and they produce products.
Are they women? Are they
Oh,
people of color? Yeah.
both. And so it's Trivia Frazier is a woman. She did her dissertation with her co-founder Jeff Gimbel and his wife. So the three of them are the founders, and they produce materials for uh, drug discovery and drug testing. So it's human derived, and that is using medical waste from liposuction procedures.
Oh my.
And they turn that into gold for scientists trying to culture new cells, test their products on a tissue like cell or plate, and really cheaply and quickly test their products for toxicity and efficacy using these materials. And it's human based, so it's much more accurate than the standard mouse based products. So
That is fascinating.
yeah.
So take the cells from liposuction, you said? Wow.
Correct.
So it
Adipose
doesn't go to
tissues.
waste. And it
Exactly.
right,
Yeah.
Right.
it actually helps them test different drugs and things that are
Mhm.
coming down the pipeline in a human form. That is really fascinating. These people, these scientists, they come up with such incredible innovations, but they do need the funding. But how exciting for people to be
Mhm.
able to be a part of that arena, right? I always say venture capital is one of the most exciting arenas you could step into. You're going to meet the most brilliant people on the planet. They're the innovators, they're the idea makers. Or you're going to meet the other investors, also brilliant, probably have done other incredible things in the world, and that's how they made their money. And so you're just putting yourself in a pool full of brilliance and innovation, right?
Right. It's so fun. And we think there's so much potential impact for the company in ending the need to do animal testing. There's some controversy about like whether we can actually get there, but there are a lot of people hoping for this, including, people at the FDA and European regulators are already targeting 2030 to end animal testing.
Oh,
So,
wow, I did not know that.
mhm.
Good to know. Well, then what an important and timely thing that you've invested in, and you'll have to keep us posted on that. So again, let's go with your website. I know people are going to want to check out these free classes because so many people want to learn about venture capital, demystify it. It's so much simpler than people think, right? That's what I have come to find. That's what our movie tried to depict also, is that it's way more interesting and fascinating and fun and lucrative and game changing than anything we could be investing in. I say it's like, instead of going to the new book club, create a venture group and talk about all the cool innovations coming down the pike, because by stepping into this arena, you get to see what the future is. You get to invest in it, be a part of it, and be a visionary just by being in that realm. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing. What a great conversation. Really appreciate having you both on. Let's talk about how all the ways they can find you: LinkedIn, website, and any other ways.
So those are the two as of current. We are not on Insta or any other place. So just the website or LinkedIn, probably the website is best. And we are happy to answer any emails that come in with questions. And I will say, like, when you talk about fund operations, I've run multiple other companies in the past as a serial entrepreneur. And running a venture capital fund is much easier. It's much slower. Like, you're not doing as many transactions, right? You're writing checks and then eventually you'll get an exit. Like, you have a little bit of fund expenses, but like where we spend a majority of our time is providing what we call value add. So helping our founders succeed.
And can you share with us how big your fund is?
It's
Yeah.
$2.1 million, and we're working on our thesis fund to prove concept. And we started this, we knew there was need out there, right? We knew there was a need for lead investors. What we have found is like far greater than what we ever thought was there. And like innovations coming from like the most interesting places. And what we're finding is women and minority founders see problems in society that are huge problems and trying to solve them, and being historically and are undercapitalized because they're in the trenches trying to solve that problem. And a lot of those have manufacturing attached to it, because most of our problems can't be solved with just software, that we need a hard tech component. And so that's why we do manufacturing as well.
Right. And I love that, because I don't see many VC firms, especially those focused on women, tackling that manufacturing sector. So I'm so glad to hear that you're connecting with that. I would think that after you do this fund, that, you know, you must be looking at doing subsequent funds and building a bigger, but it's so great to start small. It's so great that you're doing it hands-on, and it's so great that you're teaching others how to start their fund. So thank you for the work that you're doing. It's ETREVC.com. So check it out, EntreVC.com. And thank you, Jenny Kuan, for being on. You can look up Jenny on LinkedIn. That's Jenny and then Kuan for those just listening in. And Hillary Talbot, just as it sounds, Hillary with two L's. You can find her on LinkedIn. Of course, you can find me on Catherine Gray on LinkedIn as well. Catherine with a C and Gray with an A. Our websites are showherthemoneymovie.com if you want to see our movie or screen it or see where it's playing in your area. Also, sheangelinvestors.com is my other site to get lots of resources and learn more about venture capital. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today to learn about venture capital and about these amazing women and their venture fund. Jenny and Hillary, thanks for being a great guest.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Make it a great week, everybody.